Freedom of speech exists all over the world. People speak very freely. In fact, in some places, they speak far more freely about things than they do in the United States. But there are two areas in many places that people are not free to talk about. One of them is religion, and the other is politics. But in the United States of America, freedom of speech means being able to say whatever you want about religion and whatever you want about politics, generally. But we also have certain laws that prevent certain types of speech. And we know that you cannot shout fire in a crowded theater. We also have the Brandenburg Standard. If there's a clear and imminent danger in speech that incites to hatred, Brandenburg versus Ohio case. And there are other cases like this that test the limits of freedom of speech. Unfortunately, we have now people able to literally create riots on the other side of the planet. Who has a church with 15 people, half of them are his own family. So, we have to think about incitement to hatred and what that means and being realistic about it. Nobody argues that Germany is not a free society. But they have a law there that prohibits denial of the Holocaust. We can criticize those beliefs, write intellectual tomes about why Islam is not a true religion. There are many books like that, and nobody gets upset. Muslims don't get upset. But to mock, to denigrate, to make fun of somebody who's dearer to the hearts of the Muslims, and this includes Jesus. The Muslims feel the same way about Jesus, Moses, about any of these prophets. We have risen above racial denigration in this country, in the public space. If you denigrate somebody racially in the public space, you will lose your job. You will lose your job. Why? Because we recognize that people have sensitivities. When you don't have a strong legal system, honor becomes the way that people redress problems. That's why in the ghettos, often where you have a type of lawlessness, there's codes of honor, right? You don't step on people's toes because there's consequences to doing that. You don't diss their mothers. You don't diss their fathers. If this country would only apply the advice of the United States Army from 1943, we could end all of the problems. All right, so I want to read from Instructions for American Servicemen, page 12. You probably belong to a church at home, and you know how you would feel towards anyone who insulted or desecrated your church. The Muslims feel just the same way, perhaps even more strongly. In fact, their feeling about their religion is pretty much the same as ours toward our religion, although more intense. If anything, we should respect the Muslims, the more for the intensity of their devotion. That's the U.S. government in 1943. I mean, where the hell are they in 2012?